Christopher, Kanan Lee.
And David Fanning.
Psycho Red himself, Patrick David.
And the lovely Tracy Lynn Cruz.
You guys, welcome. Keep giving it up for these guys. Come on, this is what it's all about. Have a seat, relax here. Grab a microphone, guys. Very, very cool. Yeah, bring your drinks on stage. It's fine. I would if I had one. That's for sure.
Why do we have no drinks up here?
We have no drinks up here. Yeah, why aren't these guys getting drinks? So, everybody, welcome to the panel. We're all very thrilled you guys are here. These all have on switches. I hope Joe's back there to turn the audio on. If not, we can just pass this around.
We are
Here you
missing
go.
a
Tracy, I'll
ranger,
let you
by
do
the
some
way.
talking.
Hello.
You don't want me to talk. Once I get going, you can't shut me up. So, hi everyone. I'm Tracy Lynn Cruz. Thank you. Can I just say how much I've been looking forward to coming and hanging out with you guys? I love Ranger Stop. So thank you guys for making it so much fun.
I second that. This is my first Ranger Stop, and I gotta say, it's good meeting all you guys. It's good to have this close knit kind of like, energy. So thanks, guys.
Is this one working? It is working.
That's working better than this one.
This is my first in-space panel, so that's awesome. My second time here at Ranger Stop. Looking forward to this. It's gonna be fun. Is this now? It doesn't. Okay, yeah, I guess it's working. Yeah, I don't know. I've never done any conventions before ever, and I've never done it. In fact, I don't even know what I'm doing here. So yeah.
I want to say that you're probably here because everyone loves Power Rangers in space, right, guys?
Well, that's
And Selwyn Ward is on his way, guys. He'll be right here. But if you guys have questions for our friendly Space Rangers, or even our not-so-friendly ones over there, you guys can form a bit of a line with Gemma. Gemma is going to stand where the line is. So if you guys have questions, we'll do that.
And just so you know, Selwyn Ward is on his way. TJ should be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Selwyn Ward. Very cool.
That's in the green room.
That's great. We just hang out in there. Somebody will pick you up eventually if you're in there. So you guys have one of the most popular seasons of Power Rangers, and that's no offense to any of the other cast members or anything, but you guys got to come in right at the end of that first era, kind of Power Rangers. Some of you being on Power Rangers Turbo, and we're going to start with questions in a minute, but for Selwyn and Tracy, I want to start with you guys kind of. You guys came into Turbo halfway through the season and sort of replaced the original cast, if you will. And then Chris came along and the show got even better. So that's it.
That's a matter of opinion.
That's it, I know. But what was it, how did it feel, though, to you two, stepping into these big shoes, and was it an easy transition for you, or were you just happy to have the new job?
Wait, did you hear his question?
Yeah, it's okay, I just talked for about 4 minutes, it's fine, it doesn't matter.
Paying attention. Are you turned up?
Depends on how you mean that.
Wait, we're talking about transition?
Yeah, how was the
Transitioning?
transition from Turbo?
Like Bruce Jenner transit? What are we talking
Do
about here?
tell, Selwyn. Do tell.
Oh, okay. Like the chasing to, maybe so. Chasing to space. Is that what we're talking about?
Basically, it was just stepping into the show, regardless.
You know what? I think it was a matter of, number one, we all were happy to still have a job. Yes, I think that was primary. I think so.
I never heard.
I think
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, because at the end of every session, you really know, Saban has a long history, I guess, after the original crew of kind of shuffling actors in and out. That's part of their motto. They don't, in that case, the actors can't really ask for more money either, because at the end of your run, you're done and we bring in the new folks. So I think primarily, yes, we were just very happy to still have jobs.
so. I'm going to answer the question. How did we feel about stepping into the shoes of the Turbo Rangers?
Oh, I thought it was a chase into space. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I want what you're having.
I got something for you.
Thank you. For me, the transition they made it very smooth, but it was very scary because we didn't know how you guys were gonna feel about it, if you guys were gonna accept it coming in mid-season when these characters have already been established. For me, it was a little nerve-wracking. I mean, the guys, they made it so effortless, but filling in those shoes, those were big shoes to fill. So it was a little scary. It was very, how do I say? It was just, it was scary. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but because it was receptive, it was so well received that because of you guys, we were able to stay and do In Space from that. So thank you guys so much. We had a great time though.
That's all you guys right there.
So that's our turbo, and then I don't know, you want to talk about transitioning to space.
That's it. As we transition into space, I mean, it's not exactly like it's a Power Rangers in Space panel or anything, right, guys? That brought us Chris onto the show, and it was really great to see you step into the cast, right? I mean, you loved it. You got a new job out of it, but it was fantastic. But more than that, the show took a turn into sci-fi, which it didn't normally do. And do you guys, Gemma, do we have any questions yet, by the way? Is there a line for questions over there?
Let's actually get it going. Let's
line up
have
for
you guys
questions if
move
you got
over
them, you guys. Right over there by where Gemma is. She's got questions for you. But while we're getting the line together, yeah, there they go. Perfect. Oh, we got our first question from that young man. Excellent.
One face, small face, face near top right edge.
This is how the Rangers get their energy right there, you guys. Look at that.
One face.
Raz, is it? Raise?
The boom people brought it.
Oh, the boom people. Right.
There's no sugar in it. What? Yeah, there's no sugar in it.
Hi, friend.
Hello.
Oh,
What's your name? Where you from?
Chicago.
where
My name is Blake. My question is, was it easy to communicate through the helmets, or did you have to like get a signal or something that it was your line?
Who wants to break his heart? I'll do it. The actors actually don't wear the helmets. They haven't done that in a very, very, very long time. It's stuntmen that wear the helmets because when you
Big hair
Well,
into helmet.
yeah that, but also the visor on the helmets, the part where you would see out of, it's so black that you just can't see anything. It's like you're blind.
One face.
So
Face near top edge.
when I first jumped onto the show, the stuntman told me, they were like, yeah, they used to have the actors do it, but they kept hitting the stuntmen because they couldn't see where the hell they were. Yeah. So they stopped that. So there we go.
Thank you for your question.
That's a good answer.
Thank you, Chicago.
My name is Adon. I'm from New Hampshire.
All right.
And my question is for Tracy and for Chris.
Okay.
Last episode, season finale, you guys had to say goodbye. I felt there was a really strong connection between that. So I wanted to see whether there would have been a future with them if you would have stayed behind or gone further. If there was another episode, do you think you would have got that relationship between Andros and
How
Ashley?
far do you think you would go?
To the ends of the universe.
Where's your husband?
It's me, it's not you.
I mean, we're not in charge of what was written down for the characters or anything like that. But at the end of the last episode for Countdown to Destruction, they did have it so that we were still together.
Right.
9 minutes, 8 seconds.
So I don't know. I mean,
Are you asking
Focus
like
unlocked. Image.
If
After?
there- After, yes.
after? Where do you see our relationship after? Did you get lucky?
when the hell's the After Dark panel?
I was going to say, that's not later tonight. I want to mention that, you guys. We have an After Dark panel right here.
I think we're gonna have to leave it at that until the
Let's say, how about you? What do you think? We're going to turn this on you.
Well, I was really sad to see how it ended because throughout the season, you guys were chasing each other, kind of, right? So I was just, maybe get married, maybe, right? Power Rangers in Space 2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So he says no fornicating.
Power Rangers in Space 2. Space harder. I'm the most fun on the.
Did we just become the porno rangers?
The good news.
Would
The
there
good news
have
is,
been
guys,
like a?
this is him G-rated right now, so you're going to see him.
There would have had to have been like
5
a.
minutes. Yeah.
Chicago's in the house.
That's
There would
it.
have had to have been like a 2-part episode countdown to conception, right?
Dave has made his entrance.
There he is.
And this just took a turn. All right, next question. Do you dare?
So my name's Jason, and I'm from Australia. And my question to you all is, so how did you guys feel when the Astro Mega ship blew up in Lost Galaxy?
I think he's got an answer.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's a lot of little kids in here, and I don't want to say all these really nasty things. All these wonderful, beautiful things that I have to say about my good buddy Slavin, who blew up my spaceship. I'm not bitter. Not even a little bit. Didn't he like stole it, and then they made it into a museum, and then it blew up, and it's just like, you realize that was mine, right? This does not belong to Slavin. Why does he get to dictate what happens to my I mean, I'm gonna go out and steal somebody's car, I'm gonna put it in a building, I'm gonna blow it up, and then you tell me if that person's allowed to be upset about it. I think they are. I think they'd be well within their rights. Selwyn. Huh? I'm just getting your attention, brother.
Thank you.
My name is Steve. I'm from Tampa, Florida. First, I just want to say I want to thank you guys for a really awesome series. I'm a Ranger creator, and my character I created for Power Rangers because of In Space was given a family, especially with Chris's character Andros. So he's given a family and a species. But the one thing I wanted to ask is, because I am a huge Star Trek fan. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Did you guys know that they were going to do similarities between Star Trek and Power Rangers in Power Rangers in Space? Because I noticed a lot of times when I watched it, I felt like I was watching a Star Trek episode with Power Rangers thrown in, and it made me extremely happy. Being a fan of Star Trek that I am, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Power Rangers Space is really getting into this sci-fi theme.
I did not know.
Everybody just looks at me, right? Go ahead, Chris. You do all the talking. What the hell? All right. Yeah, I mean, the technobabble that's straight out of Star Trek. I mean, the things that we would say are just like, what? It's not even English. What are you talking about, man? That's ridiculous. But we did have an episode where Selwyn and Patty were talking about going down to the planet Dagobah. And I kind of feel that may have roots from another series, possibly not Star Trek. I don't know. Call me crazy. And it was actually spelt the same way as Dagobah. How the hell did George Lucas not sue the hell out of us? I mean, we should have been so sued.
Thank you.
My name's Olivia and I'm from Florida. I have a...
Hey, Olivia!
Do you guys like being Power Rangers?
Do we like being Power Rangers?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
That's an easy
I'm
one.
not a Power Ranger. I'm a
Psycho Ranger. We're not Power Rangers, we're Psycho Rangers. You got my line. You got power. Okay, yeah, that's what it is.
Speaking of that, guys, what did you guys think of the Psycho Rangers, huh? Probably some of the coolest villains in history. And while we're getting the next question over there, Patrick, would you mind telling us, what was it like stepping on and being one of the cool bad guys. You probably didn't know at the time that you were going to come back in Lost Galaxy, though, right?
You know what? I did not. I didn't even know if I was going to be a bad guy or a good guy when I auditioned. I auditioned for a Red Ranger. I don't know if it was for. I don't think it was for you because you were already on the show. It must have been for Lost Galaxy. But our casting director, she preferred me as being a villain. I did that psycho voice, and she said, "Yeah, you're the Psycho Ranger." I didn't know what that was. But what was the question again? I like being the villain. It was like the beginning of my acting career, and I did a few nice roles. So it was nice to be a bad guy and actually come after these guys, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
We feared him a lot. Him and the whole Psycho Rangers just behind the scenes because all of us didn't know if we were being disposed or not. So every single episode that we had with these guys, it was like, is this the time? Are we gone? Is this it? I mean, talk about side eye. Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's where the real evil is. It's in Hollywood. It's not Astronomer's spaceship. It's Saban Entertainment.
One face.
Don't say the name out loud.
Hi, my name's Amanda. I'm from Rhode Island. This is actually my first Ranger stop. So, to top off my first Ranger stop question here,
Now,
how you guys doing?
Reaction bros.
Attachment.
I'm hungry.
That's the best I could come up with because I'm so nervous.
It's all good.
Someone take it. We all want to know how you doing.
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing
Selma?
good. But wait, that's it? That's the only question? That's it? That's all you got for us? All right, well, it's a good start.
Hi, my name is Todd Bridgman. I'm from Atlanta. My question for the Red Ranger, Andros.
Okay.
What was her reaction that your sister became the Pink Ranger?
What was my reaction when sister became the Pink Ranger? I said, why the hell am I not the red guy still? Come on. What's going on with that?
No, Corone.
Yes, of course, Corone, yes. Again, why am I not still the red guy? Who are these new guys coming in?
You playing with my hat?
Thank you.
Yeah,
that was my reaction.
Hi, my name's Taylor. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
One face.
Selwyn, that shirt is amazing. I love it. So, my jumping off point from there for all of you, have you guys watched any Super Sentai series and what were your thoughts on it? Particularly how it compared maybe to your seasons?
You know, I watched a little bit. I can't say I was a huge fan, but I did. Usually because we followed whatever they were doing, so it was a great place to look to see kind of what direction we're going. But more or less, that was my main experience watching it. But I know a lot of fans are really into it. I know Chris was probably. I think you watched it for sure. But go ahead, Chris.
I watched Mega Ranger, and it was very violent, very bloody, and totally worth the time. Anybody who gets a chance to see it, you should watch it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can
Very
see
violent.
Everything
Yeah.
Power Rangers is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even going back to Mighty Morphin, the Zoo Ranger show is a lot darker than the American version. So it's always great to see what the original material was and what their intention was, and how things changed here in the States. So yeah.
Thank you.
One face.
Hi, I'm Victor, and I'm from Puerto Rico. Okay. My question is for TJ.
Yes, sir.
All right. I hope I don't ruin your day when asking you this.
Here we go.
All right. So you know, TJ is like the OG because he replaced Tommy, of course, and became the first black, first black leader of the Power Rangers.
There you go.
Yeah. So when you got into space, how did you felt when you got demoted to Blue Ranger? And he stole your spot. You must have been salty.
Well, you know, a lot of people say demoted, but you know, I've said it a few times, but
You got second in command, man.
Well, but you know, it's unique to be able to have played red and blue.
Was that because he had the cool hair?
But yeah,
Why is everybody always trying to pick a fight between Selwyn and I?
But long story short, you know, the way it was brought to me was that, you know, I more or less would still be the leader of the Earth Rangers. You know, Chris was off kind of chasing his sister a lot of the time. Not to be funny, but he really was. He was in search of his sister. So it was kind of pissed that I still would be, you know, the leader of the Earth Rangers. And of course, space is a whole new territory. So, you know, it's hard to kind of explain maybe how I came to space and now all of a sudden I know how to work the ship and, you know, I know places to go in space. So it kind of made sense. So, you know, I don't really look at it as much as a demotion, I guess, as, you know, the fans do. But for me, it was, you know, still having a job and still being a Power Ranger, and I was able to be red and blue. So I kind of still appreciate it.
Also, one of the signs of a great leader is being able to step aside and allowing somebody else to move forward for a little while, acting as a guide or something like that. So I think it speaks volumes that TJ's character was able to step aside and allow somebody else to be in the front for a while, and then be there when he needed to be. So that's part of that thing. Thank you.
This is Miles.
Hi, Miles.
I have a question for TJ.
Okay. Where are you from, Miles?
We're from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Do you like being the Red Ranger or the Blue Ranger better, if you had to choose?
I did like being red, and I'll say, you know, part of the reason I like being red it was my first experience being a superhero. So there is something nostalgic about that being my first experience as being a superhero. So yes, I definitely preferred red.
One face.
Anyone know any good jokes?
Looks like we're vetting the questions. That's always a good thing. Oh, here he goes.
Hi, I'm Nick from Argentina. This is my first time here in a convention of Power Ranger. Sorry for my English. I try to do my best. My question is for Chris, one of the most perfect Red Ranger I have ever seen.
I heard the most perfect.
Yeah.
Y'all heard that, right? And how much did he pay you for that?
No, I really appreciate your character. And my question is, what did you feel when you read for the first time in the script that you are going to be the killer of Zordon? The responsibility of do that.
See, I knew, yeah, it was either gonna be, when are you gonna do the hair again, or why, what does it feel like killing Zordon? It's one or the other. It's always that. Okay. As far as...
You have to answer it in an accent like his.
I have another accent, so it's different.
You know, when they told us what was going on, and you know, okay, Zordon's gonna die at the end and all that,
One face.
it was kind of explained that, you know, you kill one guy, you save everybody. You don't kill the one guy, everybody probably dies. Dave, you of all people would probably you could probably understand that, yeah, kill me then. That makes sense.
I always thought that it was a very honorable and the best way that they could have like ended the whole series or that era of it. So I thought it was very in keeping with the character that's what Zordon would do. And I don't look at it as Andros killing Zordon, more as shattering the energy tube and releasing that to wipe out everything that they've been fighting against. So I never look at it as Andros ever killing the character. So
Yeah. So both are the savior of the world.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Andros was the guy that had to make the sacrifice play. You know, he jumped on the hand grenade kind of thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good question.
Need to make a shirt of it.
Guilty. So get t-shirts will be available later tonight. Yeah.
He mainly just wants to tell you guys something. Okay.
friend?
My name is Wesley Honstein from Lewiston, Idaho. 27. I wouldn't be here without my mom, who's in the audience. And what I want to say is, I want to say a big thank you to Chris and Tracy and TJ.
You have to say TJ, that's fine.
Like your character name. Anyway, your guys' season, especially Carlos, and please give him a message for me. I'm sorry I missed him, but your guys' season is one of the on-par seasons I try to pay attention to, and I do 100% forgive Mr. Psycho Ranger in the middle.
For being a bad guy. For being a bad guy.
Please don't find that comment weird.
It's not psycho at all, it's fine.
Seriously.
I get it.
Anyway, same thing for Kathy, who's not here. Please make sure to tell her I'm sorry I missed her, but tell her I very much do appreciate and space for what it is.
One face, small face.
You got it.
And then Special Olympics gold medalist in swimming and floor hockey and Eagle Scout.
Small face.
That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And that's just, you can see the legacy that you guys have left. And you can see how much you've touched all of our lives. Thank you all for doing what you do, because you get a job and you're an actor and an actress, and all of a sudden you're superheroes, man. So congratulations to you guys.
Hi, I'm CJ. I'm from Florida. I was born and raised on Power Rangers. My question is, it's for everybody. Do you guys have any favorite on-set memories you can talk about?
That you can talk about, remember. That you can talk about.
27 minute.
We're having a panel called After Dark, and that's
You know, maybe I'll start off. I'll just say, you know, we were lucky and kind of we took it. It was also a pain in the butt, but we were somewhat lucky because a lot of the places we shot were really beautiful places, but we just had to be there at like 4 a.m. So that kind of blew it. But you know, once you're there and the sun's rising and we're like in a desert or you know at a what is it, like a rock quarry, you know, at 6 a.m. in the morning. I mean, it's just beautiful. So some of my best moments were kind of on set before we even shot, because we're just at this amazing place that otherwise you would have never been at, like sunrise, and it's just very beautiful, you know. So those are some of the things that kind of stand out a lot to me.
So my fondest memory is actually with Selwyn, and
That's later. Never mind.
After Dark. Okay. I still want what you're having.
That's what she said.
Selwyn and I.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I had to work with that, just so you know. Selwyn and I actually did a PSA, and that was a great memory for him and I. We went to Cape Town.
Pebble Beach?
Cape Canaveral.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a PSA, a public service announcement for the space shuttle launch.
Did anybody see that? Anybody remember that at all? Anybody?
I think I remember it.
Yeah, it was neat. We took. I don't even. Did you even see it?
No, I never saw it after. I think they aired it maybe once, but it was quite amazing. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
But that was a great memory. Just being able to do the space shuttle launch.
Space shuttle launch. It was amazing.
And
absolutely amazing.
Taking the time out to do that. We got to hang out together. It was a neat experience. Was it? Did we do that for Turbo, or that was? Well, no, it was obviously
that
for
was
space.
Space.
Yeah. Oh, you have it. Oh, well, that's the picture. We We have yet to actually see the PSA.
One face,
Yeah.
small face.
So
face
if
top edge.
anybody can actually find that, that would be amazing.
Really cool.
So that's my personal fondest memory was doing that. But there's so many, it just maybe can't really talk about it.
Mine's not bad. Shut up. Okay, after I first got on the show, I was the new guy. Everybody else, they'd known each other for, Turbo, so they knew each other, and I don't know, it took a little while, but hey, everybody's starting to work together and everything's looking great. And then they decided that now we're gonna bring your best buddy back to life, Zane. And I just thought,
oh yeah,
nah, I don't want, no, I'm the red guy, he could be silver, but just do that way over there, in a coma, asleep or dead, whatever, but no, And when he first showed up, I really was not very pleasant to him. Because I was just thinking the whole time, like, this guy's taking my job, I don't want that, so screw him. And I thought to myself later on, I thought, wow, that's really stupid of me to act like that, towards this guy that I don't even know him. I knew nothing about him, and so I decided, okay, you know what? Now I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna hang out with him, get to know him. Next time he's around, he only did like 10 episodes. So the next time he came around, I was like, all right, screw it. I'll just give him a chance, and then I fell in love with him right then and there. I absolutely love him. He is like my big brother. I totally love Justin Emo. I really wish he was here because he and I have the most fun doing the After Dark panel because we will just do the worst things you can possibly imagine. It's usually liquor involved a lot. You've seen it. Yes.
And he also has a
cameras
print
at those
available
panels,
of him and
remember.
Nemo merged together, so if you're into that kind of thing, he has it available.
How do you guys work with?
Sorry.
So, I don't know if anybody else wants to answer favorite memories or whatever. Dave, Patrick.
One face, small face. Face in your top left edge.
All the shade we gave you guys.
Oh, what?
Your favorite or memory?
I only morphed once, so I don't saw. Well, wait a minute. So I don't know if I even saw you actually on the set, did I? Or did you just do your thing ahead of time?
No, well, we worked when the episode when Cassie couldn't talk.
Yeah. I knew you were there. But did
Focus unlocked. Stop
It's a
recording.
long
I think we
time
shot
ago.
separately. I don't think we actually.
Yeah. It was fun working with Patty, and I met Justin. I watched the show, so it was great actually meeting them and being really mean. Oh, thank you very much. Being mean to them, but yeah, that was. Other than that, I went in the studio and did some voiceover, but yeah.
One other memory too, just real quick. The other thing is, very first scene I shot in Passing the Torch. At the end of our first scene, me and Cassie, the whole crew in the set, they kind of clapped at the end of the first scene that we shot completely, and that was like a really wonderful moment, only because it kind of solidified just this whole ride I'm about to go on.
There you go.
I'm Tommy. I'm from New Jersey.
Nice helmet.
My question is, what's the craziest or funniest blooper that maybe didn't make the 30-second credits at the end?
Oh, I remember those things.
One face.
She has one.
No, well, I mean, Chris and I had a kissing scene.
Oh.
And I don't
One face. Small
I don't
face.
know. I
Face in
think
your top edge.
maybe that didn't make it in the final cut for some reason. I don't know why. But I just remember us doing. I mean, it never made it, in the show to begin with. But I just remember us doing it. And
One face.
okay, we're not going there.
Countdown to
Small
conception.
face.
Let me back up. Let me try another one. No, but that was just the whole connection of him and I going through that
Face in your top left edge.
and take after take after take. It was it was funny.
Small face. Face in
I
your
would
top
have
left
liked to have seen what type of blooper would have came out of that. you know, something like that. So anyhow.
Yeah, it is weird that they never used anything. Right? And we've been asked that before, like, hey, did you guys ever do a kissing scene? It's like, yeah, we did.
Can you show us?
One face.
Do it, do it, do it.
Someone likes to watch.
That's the next one.
I'd like to say one more time we have a panel called After Dark. That is coming up later. I cannot stress enough that we have a panel. You're going to love it.
So that's my Blooper moment.
I go along with that. And she swallowed down like all this garlic right
Do what?
beforehand.
What'd she
The worst.
Hey, but I'll tell you, one blooper that made it that I really liked, it didn't have to do with me, but it was one with Roger, or Carlos, when he had the spit coming out of his mouth. You guys remember that one? It was the one he did with Johnny Bosch. It's at the end of it, but yeah, he's training or something, and I think he's, I don't know if he's training or something. Yeah, like all this. That was a good one.
I have a question for the fans actually. Did they still keep the bloopers after from Lost Galaxy to after?
No.
They stopped it, so we were the only season.
The last season.
One face.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Only the Zordon era.
One face.
Oh,
Small
wow.
face.
Yeah, only Zordon.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the question.
Hello.
Small face.
Where are you from? What's your name?
You don't need to know my name, it's fine. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Matthew from Seattle.
He's a pretty boy.
That's why you don't get clapped.
You're a pretty girl. So we've seen TJ come back, and we've all heard the 12 Tyler storyline. But, Tracy, what do you think Ashley is doing nowadays?
That's funny.
It's really hard to answer that with these guys here because it's just taking a turn. So, Ashley, where is she after the show?
After the show.
One face.
I would like to think that Ashley.
One face.
Give me a minute to think about that.
You got it.
Yeah, give me a minute. I'll come back to you, pretty boy.
He's Tommy.
One face. Small face. Face.
Oh my God.
Hi.
The little Red Ranger.
Thank you. This is my little girl Raylan. And
Raylan, hi Raylan.
We're from Lake City, Florida. And, forgot what my question was, but I'll ask a different one anyway. And so, what did it feel like when you did the episode when you were taming your car and turning over the because you did a lot of running around.
Yeah, you know what? That was one of my favorites actually. If anytime I'm asked, one of my favorite episodes, that was it. For me, I think it was then I don't know if they still do it, but in Turbo and somewhat Space 2, they would usually rotate episodes around specific characters and specific issues, and that was one of my first solo, about me taming kind of my beast, which is my car. And a couple of things I liked about it was I did do most of my own stunts when I was chasing the car, jumped on it, driving. Like I did do a lot, like you said, but it was a lot of fun. And for me, being able to kind of show what I can do, I'm running, I'm jumping, I'm twisting, I'm falling, and I love that episode, and I just kind of think it shows, not to give up and don't be afraid to, get into a situation that doesn't seem comfortable to you, because at the end of the day, it might work for you. So that's the story of taming my car. I appreciate that.
Oh, and the one for everybody. What did it feel like the last day you guys were on set?
Well, between Tracy crying and giving her tissues.
Well, the last day we were in downtown LA, right? Yeah, we were in downtown, so that was a lot of fun. I mean, shooting that episode. It was emotional, but because we had so many people around us and we were shooting, in downtown, we were up on the building. I mean, we couldn't have gone out a better way. I think that it was emotional because we were ending, the space, but at the same time, it was a bittersweet because we were in an amazing area. I mean, being in downtown LA shooting and all that, I think that it couldn't have been a better way to go out.
So I got a question though for the fans, for you guys. Did you guys realize that space was supposed to be the end, and that's why we chose it?
Yeah.
So whenever you guys are in any other panels, you can ask those actors, how does it feel? When was the last time you went to the space crew and said thank you? Because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have a job.
Actually,
Like
Put
that.
it in your back pocket.
Oh, no, take it. Bye, y'all. Take it.
Kiki!
Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
San? Okay. My name is Jake, and I'm from South Florida. And yes, this is my first time at the convention. This is my first time. I also have a question for each of one of you all. How often do you all had to put in hours in the series from the Power Rangers series? Was it 4 to 5 hours?
What?
No, the hours that we worked were.
Oh God, no! It was like 14 hours a day.
Oh wow, because they were back to back.
Yeah, but we were shooting 2 to 3 episodes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of times the females would arrive earlier because
yeah.
they would have the
Makeup.
earliest calls, so they generally would have the longest days too.
Yeah.
Get makeup.
Because this is not natural.
It was like,
Especially at 4 o'clock in the morning. Nope.
But average was probably 10 to 12, I would say.
okay.
Yeah.
My
Well, when
second-
we were non-union,
We went way more than that.
yeah, when we were non-union, we worked way more hours. There was a lot more that was expected.
days when we did it for 16 hours.
Two faces.
Yeah.
Now, was there any lateness
Yeah, we didn't have turnaround.
or something
Yeah.
like that?
Focus
Was
on
there
locked.
any tardiness or lateness or
Double
something?
tap to focus.
Wait,
You
make
find
sure
them. Focus on
everybody
locked.
was ready
Image.
for the set or all that.
We didn't have any divas or divas on the set.
Because we were all liked our jobs.
Yeah.
And
We were very
easily be
disposable.
replaced, so yeah.
That is true.
We knew it.
Yeah.
Small face. Face me top
Okay,
luggage.
the second question. For each of one of you all on this stage,
One face.
which one was the most for each episode?
Chris.
It's always me.
Which one was the saddest, the furious, and the most successful episode to you all?
The saddest and the most successful. And what was
Yeah.
the other one?
Two faces.
Oh, the scariest episode?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
One face. Small
I
face.
guess we
Face
Yeah,
top
that's,
luggage.
the scariest one for me was in Countdown to Destruction, the very end of it. So sorry.
One face.
I figured I was being loud enough. I don't know if everybody could hear me.
I'm able to hear fine.
Yeah, the scariest part was at the end of Countdown to Destruction, where I was reading the script and Chip had written in it that I cry over Astronema and the tears bring her back to life, and I thought to myself, please don't make me do this. This is ridiculous. I don't want to do this. That is terrible. That was probably the scariest thing. I can't cry on command, and it was just like, I don't want to do this. This is just dumb. Yeah, that was terrible. That was so bad.
Maybe I'll try to tackle sad and then Tracy and the other one. But sad, and I didn't really, I don't know if we were actually in the scene, but when we kind of guest starred in Lost Galaxy, I think that was an episode where their Yellow Ranger died. Right?
Pink.
The Pink Ranger died. So that, I want to say that was probably the saddest, but I'm not quite sure we
Yeah,
were
it
in the
was.
scene, but we were there, but I don't know if we were exactly in that
Face me top
specific
left
scene.
edge.
That's probably
Yeah,
the
we were all in the
saddest.
scene.
Yeah.
We were all in the scene, yeah.
Yeah, so that was probably the saddest, but go ahead, Tracy, you can have what, the most excitable one?
Well, I don't know if it was. I mean, mine goes to,
One face.
I guess, the scariest, because when we were actually going into space, do you remember when we were shooting at some empty lot and we were climbing up these stairs,
One face.
and we had to keep climbing up the stairs like if we were going into the spaceship, but at the top of these stairs, it was just like an empty lot. That's all it was.
One face.
And
Small
at the
face.
top of these
Face me top
stairs, which you guys didn't know, was a hornet's nest.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys remember that. There was a hornet's nest, and we would climb up, and you would see these hornets flying around. And I told Jonathan, the director, I said, there's wasps or hornets
One
or
face.
whatever it
Small
is,
face. Face me top left edge.
things that are flying. And
One face.
We still had to do it. We still, and every time we climb,
No,
you
no,
know,
no.
we
It's
shoot.
okay. You just do it.
Yeah.
You just do the scene.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. It's okay. No, don't worry about it.
So we would shoot take after take. We must have did it, I don't know, 10 times or whatever, climbing up this ladder, and we're irritating the nest.
They did have a smoke machine that would smoke them and make them even more upset.
So that was my scariest moment. I hated that. And to make it look like it was so effortless, and we're going into space, and there's a flying thing.
One face,
Oh.
small face,
So
face
anyway,
neutral
that's my answer.
And then you had one more. You said saddest, scariest, and success. I don't know. Success.
Oh, success. Oh, the success.
Dave, you want to take that?
Two faces.
Yeah, why not you? By all means.
Well, I'm in a very unique position because my character was and was very limited as far as the time that I ever spent on set with any of the Rangers. So even though my face was in all the episodes with these guys, I was never there with them. So my unsaid stories are very limited. I don't have a whole lot of them, and I feel very guilty about that. But watching the episodes that these guys are in, you know, and seeing the effort and the talent that went into putting them together, it's always fun to see how these guys, you know, progress through their journey in the episodes. So it was a lot of fun.
Let me ask you a question. Because you were in the ADR room a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you were. You worked with Scott.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Did you ever hear the tape that he put together with all of the Rangers doing inappropriate things
I
that
did.
he made us do?
I did. Yes. And I think there are a number of things that got left on the cutting room floor that are unmentionable. Yes.
So that would probably be maybe the most exciting moment to hear how he portrayed all these and he used it into a after dark
Yes.
type of reel, if you will, and
funny as hell.
certain terms like mega winger and
Yeah, that gave whole new meaning to teleport to the command center.
yeah. So that's the funniest memory that I had, being able to see that.
Yeah, we had a blooper that I recorded that, you know, we weren't doing bloopers when Mighty Morphin was going on, but I just remember being in the ADR booth and watching Alpha bounce around the command center and sparks flying everywhere, and I'm just like, idiots. I'm surrounded by idiots.
Alpha is like,
Thank you for your question.
Third question.
One face.
To TJ and Andros, thank you for making Forever Red. I enjoyed it.
You're very welcome. That was totally down to Selwyn and I. Nobody else had a hand in that. That was purely Selwyn and I, right, Sel? That was just us.
I think they should do another one.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. There's a lot more.
Tracy, did you have your answer for Pretty Boy?
Oh, that's right.
So, yes, my pretty boy. Where I see Ashley after. You know what? I don't have like any big epiphany of where she is, but I would say that she is happily involved with Andros.
Maybe a fashion designer, maybe? Weren't you into fashion?
Yeah, it was fashion, but you know what? That would be great. I can get him to like, that would be a good idea. He can do drag. Yes, there we go.
That's somebody who knows that I'm prettier than her. That's where that's going.
Oh, God. Anyhow, so that's where I would see Ashley. I guess, you know, happily married.
All right, guys, I think we have time for one more question. No one wants to wrap it up, but do we have one more?
Yes.
Excellent.
Better make it good. It's all on you.
Steve, you know, this is not a question.
Go ahead, John. What do you want to say?
I actually, as Selwyn knows,
I think the audio is good.
I'm not continuing until this microphone is fixed.
We're giving This is really exciting. I like how this is happening. There we go. Looks like you go.
Need new mics.
Want to use this one?
Just talk it. Just speak it.
Speak it out, buddy. We're all here, Jerry.
Okay. As many of you guys, as you saw and recall, I work for Disney and Universal. And if you guys ever come back here or on this trip or whenever, I'm willing to get you guys free into Disney because I'm allowed to get 3 people. Steve and I had the ability to get 3 people in 16 times a year. And Walt Disney World is
Well, I'm available tomorrow.
Disney includes Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, formerly known as MGM Studios, and then Animal Kingdom. So if you guys ever want to go, I'll get you guys in because of what things you guys do.
Yes.
Awesome, guys. So let's give it up one more time for the cast of Power Rangers in Space. If you haven't done so yet, these guys are taking photos and signing autographs for the weekend, and it's a wonderful.